about the latest app from my company, Ghost Pattern Software. The name of the new app is GW Mailbox. Now, who is, about this company, Ghost Pattern Software? Kind of a funny name for a company. We started the company in 2009, or I started it. Its headquarters, and all the development is done in Utah. And I have a special focus on delivering solutions for GroupWise. And that started out with some iPhone apps, and we've had those out successfully for the last number of years. And from the iPhone apps, we moved into delivering a set of Android apps. And then most recently, we've been working on a GroupWise Mac client. So it's a native Mac client for GroupWise. So we've had this new app, or it's been available since a week ago. This last, so it was Monday this last week that this app became available, and the response has been fairly positive. So let's take a look at it. It has an all-new look and feel that makes it seem or feel very much up to date like an iOS 7 app. If you remember our old app, it had been around for a number of years and was starting to kind of feel its age and not look quite as up to date as it should have been. And so been working on this update since last summer, and finally was able to get it finished. One of the big changes for this app over the updated look and feel is really merging all of the GroupWise systems into one app. So previously I had a separate email app and a calendar app and a contacts app. And I've done away with that, and now all of that functionality is just in this one app, so you can get everything accessed in one spot. Another major new feature for the app is an all-new notification system. Increases some security and some other improvements, and we'll get into some of the details on that later. So let's talk about some of the features that you get in this email app. A lot of what we have, so these are features that have been there for a while in terms of, you're able to see an item's unread status. You can see that an item has an attachment, and we can see all of your mailbox items, not just emails. So you look in this particular screenshot, we've got notes, appointments, tasks right there next to your emails. You can see them all together. We're also able to switch to different folders. So not just your mailbox, which is your inbox, but you can look at folders in your cabinet. You can look at your sent folder. You can look in your trash. All of those are available to you. So what are some of the improvements? Well, for the interface here for your mailbox, we've got the new thing now here is that we have the ability to see the item's type. So we've got that item icon that's up there along the left to help quickly identify appointments and tasks and notes as separate from your emails. Another thing another improvement that people have been asking for quite a while is the ability to do multi-item deletes. So you tap on that edit button in the upper right-hand corner, select items, and then you can delete. Here's a screenshot of the iPad app. Fairly straightforward, allowing you to access both your mail list and look at individual items at the same time. This is an appointment that we have to be looking at. You get a little bit different layout for an appointment. It allows it to kind of group the appointment-specific features of an item together to see the location and the date and time for the appointment. Looking at an individual item, as before, all this functionality was available in the old app, but we've kind of rearranged how you access it. If you look at that taskbar at the bottom, you can see options to quickly access the properties of an item, to mark an item as unread, to move an item, to accept or decline an item. This happens to be an appointment, so you would accept or decline it. If this was an email, there would be a delete button there instead, and that would give the option to quickly delete the item. And of course, you want the ability to reply for the item, that sort of thing. In certain circumstances, too, if you're looking at your sent folder, next to or from the reply button, you'd also get the option to resend an item. It's a popular feature of GroupWise to be able to retract a previously sent item and then send a new version of it. Composing emails is improved here. We do have the ability to, of course, create an email, but not just create an email, but from the app we can create emails, appointments, tasks, and notes. We also have improved address book searching for the app, so the interface for that is improved. The improved interface for address book searching allows you to much more easily switch to the next address book as you search through each of your GroupWise address books. Searching through your address book is definitely a feature that's pretty powerful and important to GroupWise users, and we really enable that in the app to quickly allow you to look through your frequent contacts, through the GroupWise system address book, through all of those contacts. The calendar functionality has also been upgraded. What you do is, with an improved month layout, the day and the week layout have also been significantly improved. Makes it a lot easier to switch between days and weeks and see your information. You'll notice something that's maybe a little bit challenging to kind of figure out at first, and we may need to improve this, is how do you navigate between months. What you do is you swipe your finger from left to right, either to the left or to the right, is over the day of the month. So you'd swipe on that May 2014, and it moves left or right, and then it will redraw the calendar for you. Now, one of the advantages of this GroupWise app is the ability for it to look at not just your primary GroupWise calendar, but any of your multiple calendars, which is a feature that was introduced to GroupWise Web Access in GroupWise 8. And you can look at shared calendars. So as people share calendars with you, those are also available within the app. From another advantage from using the app is that you're able to look at your calendar at any month in the future or back into the past. So sync solutions tend to just, for logical reasons, only sync a certain time period. With this iPhone app, because we're talking directly to GroupWise Web Access and pulling that information out there, we're able to jump say, a year into the future and view your appointments. Then you can view anything that's next month, and it's always up to date because we're looking directly at your mailbox through GroupWise Web Access. This is a screenshot of the updated view for the calendar for the iPad. We changed the layout a little bit with a focus on the ability to look at an item. So it makes it a lot easier to identify. You can identify the days of the month that have items by looking at that little gray dot underneath the calendar date, and then select from the items that are on that date below. Once you're on this, once you're looking at an item, you can, of course, do all the things that you can do if it's an item in your mailbox, from replying, marking unread, looking at status tracking. It's something I find really pretty powerful with GroupWise, is to look in an event, see who has accepted your appointment or declined an appointment. So let's talk a little bit about the notification system. So with the old notification system, kind of we're working within the restrictions that GroupWise or that Apple set for us. So basically what that meant was you couldn't run in the background as an app. The app did not have the ability to constantly update itself. And so if you wanted to get a notification, what I had to do was I had a notification server that I set up, and what it would do is it would go out and periodically poll your mailbox on your GroupWise server, and if there were new emails, it would send a push notification and you get a nice little notification on your device. Well, that had its problems, and but fortunately in iOS 7, we have the opportunity for apps to run in the background. It's called the background app refresh. This feature's brand new, and basically what it allows an app to do is to register with the system as needing to be woken on a regular interval to go out and check for new content. So the new app does this. It will, you can set a minimum time in between when it goes and checks for new data, and then as long as you have the background app refresh setting on for the app, it will go out and regularly check your mailbox, and then it does a notification. A nice thing in the process of doing this this upgrade to this new notification system, I changed the way that the notifications arrive for you. So now instead of just getting the sound notification and the badge number change, you can also get a notification center banner that will show you the last 5 items that, or the most recent 5 items that you received. And so that will appear in your notification center. Of course, you may want to change how that appears. You can change whether or not that appears on your lock screen through the iOS settings app. You can also go into the into GW Mailbox, and we have a number of settings for changing not just the notification sound that you get, but to change also the to change whether or not you get banners, to whether or not you get the badge update, and that sort of thing. So to kind of summarize, this really does provide better security. I really don't want to be in the business of running my little notification server and hosting everybody's information there. And so this is definitely a better way to go, but it does require your device to have background app refresh on, at least specifically for this app. So what are general advantages for this, for using this system, using this app over, say, IMAP or POP, or using Novell's ActiveSync solution? Well, the first thing is that it is really easy to set up. It's fairly easy. You just, all you do is you deploy the app on the device, you point it at your GroupWise Web Access server, and you're done. The app is working. It's fairly inexpensive. You don't need to go and you're not required to upgrade your GroupWise server. You don't need to pay a lot of money for deploying additional services. You also don't run into sync problems. So the maintenance is really, I think, where you're going to gain a lot of your expense controls there. And it supports older versions of GroupWise. Surprisingly enough, there's still a number of people using GroupWise 6.5 for whatever reason. But those people that are using that can easily use this app just as if, and to them, they get all the features and it works nice and well, just as if their IT department had deployed GroupWise 14. The app really handles all those versions of GroupWise without any difficulty. Now, one of the, so those were IT department advantages. Well, what about feature set? And really, you use GroupWise because GroupWise has a lot of collaboration features that help you to work effectively with your coworkers above what you would get with, say, a simple email system that only supports IMAP or POP. One thing is you get to access all of your folders, including shared folders. You can access all of your emails. So if you want to, I mean, a lot of people have a really significant amount of email in their mailbox. The app handles that no problem. It will not choke on a mailbox that is huge, and you can go back through your mailbox and look at at item number 1000 in your mailbox if that's what you like. You can access all of your GroupWise item types. GroupWise is about more than just email. It's about appointments and tasks and notes, and the app allows you to see all those items, interact with them as if they were tasks, notes, appointments, and create those, reply to them, all those kinds of things. You also have improved ability to interact with attachments. So when you download an attachment or when an attachment is on an item, for example, you can choose to view it, which is pretty easy using GroupWise Web Access Document Converter, or you can open the item, which basically means to download the attachment to your local device and choose to open it with another app. So, for example, our friends at Microsoft have finally decided to deliver Microsoft Office for the iPad. You can go and download a Word document that is attached to an email, send it over to Microsoft Word on your iPad, modify it, and then email it back out to somebody. You also get status tracking, seeing who has accepted or received an item, whether or not somebody's looked at it, and of course, all of your GroupWise address books, not just select one or two. Simple calendaring features are also available, the ability to decline an appointment, complete tasks. You can also resend or modify appointments. So lots of good calendaring features that are available through the app. So what does it take to run the app? First of all, of course, you're going to need GroupWise. We support all the way back to GroupWise 6.5, but also, GroupWise 2014, it's brand new, just released near the first of the year, and we've put a lot of features into this new app. There are a few things that this new app supports better for GroupWise 2014 than the old app was able to. Just because of timing, I was not able to get some of those bug fixes into the old GW Mail, but we're able to, with this new app, I'm able to fix bugs related to working with GroupWise 2014 as quickly as I'm able to find out about them. So device support. So this new app does require iOS 7. But the good news is that most everybody has iOS 7. In fact, 97% of people out there can run iOS 7. Almost all of those people have upgraded to iOS 7 already. The app works perfectly fine on your iPad, your iPhone, or iPod Touch. And of course, as Apple every year deems to release new devices and new versions of iOS 7, the app will continue to move forward and work with those. So connectivity, how does the app work? It does require an active internet connection in order to be able to go and fetch the data. We don't cache any information on the device. So that's good news, bad news. The bad news is that it doesn't work in offline mode. The good news, though, is it is better security. If your device is locked or is lost, there is no information to be lost on the device. So the app, what it does is it connects directly to your GroupWise Web Access server. Basically, the app is pretending to be a web browser, and it will log in with your account information to the GroupWise Web Access server, and then it specifically will and pulls that information back, and then instead of displaying it in HTML or in a web interface, it specifically will show it to you in the native controls that work well and feels like an iOS 7 app. So how do you buy this? Well, it's fairly easy. You just open up your device and you open the App Store app that Apple provides to us and simply search for GroupWise. The top result will be GW Mailbox, and you tap on that and download it. But yes, it's not really free. So this app is a paid update. Initially, when you go and you get the app, you can download it for free. So it doesn't require anything to get. Once you download it, though, it will, after you go through the setup, it will give you an option to use the app for 1 week with all of the features. So, so you may be looking at this app and say, well, it kind of looks nice from the pictures, but is it worth paying for? I've been using the old app and it works great. And you know what? That old app will continue to work well. So why the new app? Well, give it a try and see if it's an improvement for you. We give you 1 week of unrestricted access to the app, after which the app requires a subscription. So this is an auto-renewing subscription, and you can sign up for either a monthly or an annual payment option. This price is less than the app, all the the mail and calendar apps were before, but it does require an ongoing payment. So why did we move to the subscription? Well, The reality is the subscription was necessary to support future updates and upgrades to the app. The fact of the matter is everybody updates their devices to this new version of iOS. We have, as developers, I have access to iOS 8 already, and there are interesting new features in there, as well as things that cause existing apps to break. And so that requires work to kind of keep things going. So, like I mentioned before, we have a lower initial price. If you want to, keep using it for a month, that only really costs you $1. So, give it a try. We've got a free trial. By moving to a subscription, I'm able to give people access to the app quite easily initially so that they can try it out. It was surprising how often people would download my Lite app that was for testing the connection, making sure that the paid app would work, and they would be confused as to why the app didn't do everything. And by going to subscription, this just makes it a lot more straightforward as to how to pay for the app and get it to work properly. And like I said, mobile is always changing. We have a new version of iOS that will be released in the fall with a number of changes. This app will need some work to get that done. The subscription pays for that development work. There's rumors of new devices, bigger screen iPhones. That is going to represent a fair amount of work too. The subscription will help to pay for that development work. Now, what about volume purchases? In the past, if you wanted to buy the app, it was fairly straightforward. You'd pay for through the education volume purchase program or the business volume purchase program that Apple provides. You could buy access to the app or buy codes that you could then distribute to your users, and they could have access to the app. Unfortunately, Apple does not provide a way for businesses or education entities to purchase subscriptions or basically an in-app purchase. It's just not technically possible. Apple has not provided a way to do that. So, but I do have a technical solution for that that would allow you to basically just push out the free app from the App Store to your users, and then contact me, and we can arrange for you to purchase a volume license for your users and make it so that when they use the app, it will just automatically turn on for them. All right, roadmap, the future. So version 1.4 of the app will probably be available later today. I was able to talk Apple into getting this new version hopefully approved today. So what about the future? We're going to have new features. I'm excited about the new app and the opportunities to add new group-wide specific features. There are a lot of exciting things coming in iOS 8 that I think are going to be good opportunities to integrate group-wise with your device, and I will be able to provide that directly through this app. And of course, Novell is upgrading group-wise through new support packs and new versions, and the app will provide support for that. Your subscription provides that to happen. So, at the end here, we've got, a lot of people have additional questions, and we'll do some Q&A here in a second after I do a demo. People will have, they'll say, hey, well, what about this feature? Or hey, I'm having a problem with this getting something to work. Give me give me an email. Send me an email. Let me know what you're seeing. There is a support link in the app. Use that. That will help me to see how you've set up the app and what device you're using it from. Go ahead and use that. Part of what the subscription provides is the ability for you to contact me for support as much as you need, and I will do my best to make sure that the app does what it needs for you. So with that, let's first check to see if we have any questions, and then we will switch to stop sharing. All right.
Just a quick reminder for everyone. Sorry, Daniel. Just a quick reminder, if anyone does have any questions, you can put them through on the chat or on the Q&A.
All right. I don't think we see any questions, so let's switch back to sharing my desktop. We'll minimize that. We've got the app running in a here in Apple's simulator. So it kind of simulates what running on an iPhone is like. So you can see we've got looking at your mailbox, we can scroll through our items. This particular mailbox doesn't have a lot of items in it, but we can come in here and with the option to delete an item. So you swipe from the right, and there's the delete button. We can also do multiple select delete. So select the items, push on the delete button. From here, we can also compose items. So we can create, of course, all the standard group-wise item types, including posted items. So if I want to send myself an email here, just start typing, wait a second, and the app will go out and search your address books, and it finds a user, and we select it. If I want to search the next address book, we just tap on that green button there, finds an item. A little tip or trick here is if you search for, come in here and search for asterisk, it will return all of the items from your address book. So that allows you to kind of see, yeah, it's searching through and stopping on each of my address books. In fact, I think there we had a shared address book. So I can send an email there to Bill Dean, and we can send an email to myself there. Test user here, his name's Greta, and we can say hello to GroupLink, and this is a test. And we'll click on send, and there is our new email. You'll notice that in the app, you have a little bit, so just a lot of subtle things have been improved. One thing I'll point out here is the way that the timestamp shows up for an item. So this new email, it just showed up. We've got some time format problems, or not time format problems, time zone problems on my server. It seems to want to drift to the future, so it thinks it's 4 in the morning. But it's showing that date. We can open this item. We can reply to it. Because I sent this, I can also resend it. And that will retract for Bill, since Bill hasn't opened this, for Bill being here. But since Greta has already opened it, the new one and the old one are available. We can look at status tracking for an item, see when things were delivered. We can mark an item as unread. Come back here. You can see it's unread. You can see this item has an attachment. Viewing attachments is fairly straightforward. You know, the GroupWise document converter is pretty nice for looking at, you know, especially like open office document types and that sort of thing. You tap on the view button. There we've got a view of this document. We can click on open. It downloads it to the device. And then here, this is kind of a familiar look where you can see all of the all of the applications that are able to view a docx file type. Obviously, on a real device and not on the simulator, this would be quite a good list. For us here, we can do quick look, and that will convert the document on the device. That seems to work really well for, you know, especially for newer Microsoft Word types. From here, if you want, you can even print the attachment. So, and if we accept the item or accept this appointment and click on that thumbs up for accept, that will move the item from your mailbox to the calendar. So we'll even see it here on the side. We've got status for items that you've replied or forwarded. Searching works well too. So if we want to, for example, search for GroupLink, that will search the whole mailbox, and we can see, you can find that item that we just sent. That searches, it does use the GroupWise Web Access Server to do that search. Depending upon the version of GroupWise that you have, that can go faster or slower, but it does work. Helps you find those older emails. To switch into calendar mode or to view any of your old or view other folders, tap on this menu button here in the upper left-hand corner, and it will show us all the folders that we've got here. This is the cabinet that's expanded. You can click on the negative and then on the plus to close and open the cabinet folder. And come here and look at unopened items. You know, that's a real popular folder. Tap on that, and it will filter your mailbox for just seeing all the unopened items. Pretty useful. Of course, we can see our sent items. That's useful for coming in here to see, all right, so we sent that. Oh, no, Bill Dean has still not read that email. Now, from here, we can also look at our calendars. That's how we switch, select the calendar, and there's our month view. Need to move back a month or two, I think, to there in May we've got a number of items. So we can see there's the project status meeting. So you see underneath the days that have items, we've got that little gray dot. You also can come in here and turn on and off calendars. Sometimes that can be a problem that the calendars will be all turned off. In this case, though, everything seems to be working. So if we were to turn off our calendar there, that's our primary calendar, then well, let's just say the month calendars wouldn't be that interesting. But let's look at the week view. Week view is basically an agenda-style list of everything in your week. with breaks depending upon the day. So on Tuesday, we don't have an item or anything going on, and so there's nothing there. For the week of May 5th, though, we've got items on Tuesday and Thursday. The day view is significantly different from the old app in that we have more of a kind of like a smaller month view, but allows you to just look at the current week that you're on and select those items. Now, to quickly jump back and forth between specific dates, you can, of course, you tap on the Today button, and then that will take us directly to either today, or you can pick a specific date to jump back to May. And of course, from here, you can come in and compose new appointments, all kinds of that sort of things. One thing that's a change from the old apps is we moved where you go to access the settings. So, for example, you click or tap on that gear button, and we've got access to both our login settings, where we set our URL, username, and password. We can look at mail settings in terms of controlling the number of items that you want to see. So we can reduce that to 5 if we wish, or all the way up to, what's our maximum, 500. It's a lot of email to digest at once, but whatever works for you. You can choose to turn off tasks, notes, appointments if you wish. Adjust address books, and so this address book settings allows you to move it so that your frequent contacts is searched last, which is actually the new default, is to have frequent contacts show up last. For notifications, so this allows you to turn off whether or not you're getting the banner notifications, badges, what kind of sounds you get, that sort of thing. So fairly straightforward. If you need information about the app, you tap on that info icon and it'll tell you the version number, and this is where you go to email support, which basically emails me, but the advantage there is that's going to include information about your device so that you can, so that I can help figure out the problem that you may be having. Now that I've reduced the number of items you can see in the mailbox, you can see this load more messages button that shows up. We click on him, and now we've got the full 9 or 10 emails. If only my inbox was that small. So fairly straightforward in terms of seeing the app. I don't know if there are any more questions of people asking to see something else specific in the app.
I have seen one question, and just one last reminder, if you do have any questions, you can put those around the chat or the Q&A. The question I'm seeing here, what firewall ports need to be opened?
Firewall ports, good question. You don't need anything more than the standard ports open on your server to expose web access. So basically, if Safari, the web browser on your mobile phone, can browse to your GroupWise web access server, then the app will be able to as well. So the app will use port 80 or port 443 kind of as you have set up your web access server. So again, super easy for you, the IT department, to make this available to users. Basically just have them download it. You give them the URL to your server. So and that'd be like https webmail.mycompany.com/GW/webac. They put in their GroupWise username and a GroupWise password, and it works fairly straightforwardly. The app does have a lot of features in it to help users figure out how to get that URL set correctly. To be honest, that is like the #1 thing that people kind of get stuck on is mistyping their URL, or not even knowing what it is, or leaving off the HTTP parts on the front. On a related note, I highly recommend that your GroupWise Web Access server be secured with SSL. You'd be surprised how many companies have elected to not yet turn on HTTPS for their server. Their choice, but the app will support that. It supports SSL. It supports self-signed certs. It works fairly straightforwardly. Let me switch back over and see if we have any other questions. Well,